Southern Soul, ATLFM.com radio. I am Earl the Pro. Welcome to Tina Brown's How You Doing? Put your hands together, y'all, for the bad girl of the blues, Miss Tina Brown. Come on in here, Tina.
Hey, what's going on, Earl the Pearl? How you doing?
Man, it's good to talk to you. We got a special guy on today.
Yes, we do. We have a legend, and I'm so blessed and glad to have him on here. And he gave us some of his time. He's a busy man to be on my show. So I want all the listeners to give it up for the GOAT, y'all. Y'all give it for Omar Cunningham. Give it up.
Hey, Omar. Welcome.
What's going on? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome to Omar Cunningham.
Yes, I got one question to ask you, Mr. Cunningham. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How's everybody doing over there?
Yes, we're blessed, doing good. Just excited to have you on the show. I know you got a lot of things going on, and you just one of them kind of entertainers, writers, producers that covers everything, And I just want to kind of put it out there. My career started off with you when it came to Southern Soul, and when I came up from the blues. And he wrote my first song called Sneaker Piece. And it kind of gave me a lot of inspiration because that song went to the Urban Influencer. It went on number 3 in the charts. I was like, wow. So it kind of really gave me momentum to keep on moving and pushing and do what I'm doing. I just want to thank you for that, and for the other 2 great songs you gave me, and I'm just really grateful for you helping me out.
Well, I appreciate it. I try to help as much as I can.
Yes. You've worked with so many artists. I mean, who have you worked for? I mean, you have to work and did work for.
I got Lenny Williams on there. I've got Shirley Brown. Got Dave Hoster on a song. Willie Clayton, Karen Wolf, I believe. Vicky Allen. Lots of people. I've been doing it for about 23 years. So I've touched a few. I put a couple of eggs in a couple of refrigerators, I guess.
And you've fed a lot of us out there, and he has, and like I said, you got a lot of mailbox music, mailbox money.
Absolutely, that's what it is. You can sit at home and get that.
Yes, and I want you to know too that you taught me the business. You're the first one to threw it out there for me to get an LLC, and kind of learn the business side of Southern Soul and what I'm doing, and I really jumped in both feet to learn the business because you influenced me and told me how to do it. And I did. I just ran with it. And I appreciate that as well.
Well, artists that want to be successful really have no choice but to learn the business. I tell people all the time, you're going to come across fame and you're going to come across fortune. You got to decide which one is most important to you. Fame is waning. You can be hot today and maybe not be hot in 5 years, but if you do the business right, you can still have money, and your kids can eat off of what you do if you do the business right. So that's why I try to impress upon people to learn the business. Because a lot of times in the business, you'll think somebody beating you. Well, really, you're beating yourself because you didn't know what to do.
Exactly. And a lot of we got a lot of new. What kind of advice you got for some of these new artists coming in the game, and they think they're going to be a one night success or have a one hit wonder. But you got to tell them.
Well, I like a lot of what they're doing, but they got to be patient. I think a lot of them are doing what I call microwave music. They want it to be hot right now, some things can be that way, but one song is not a whole show make or not a career make. You got to stand up there for 45 minutes, and you can't do one song for 45 minutes or an hour. So it's good to have a catalog and not just a catchy song for right now. The longevity of it is what you really want to do. You want to have classics and write songs that people will want to listen to 15, 20 years down the road. It may be great now, but write something that's going to stand the test of time.
Exactly. And that's why I'll elaborate one more time. I'm sorry I'm indulgent about how we work together. But one of my classic songs, and I'm developing a catalog, one of my favorite songs is I Love This Man. I think it's one of the only love song I got in my catalog, but it's a classic, and I know that. And I really appreciate that because that song is really a deep song.
You gotta have songs. I mean, I'm singing "Hell at the House" and "Check the Check" and "Baby Don't Leave" 23 years
Yeah.
later, and there's still people that are just not hearing some of that stuff. So that tells you that those songs are classics and worthy to be played. Nobody's really trying to do a "Just Because" or "Running Out of Lies" or anything, but those are classic records that you or "Cause I Love You" by Lenny Williams. Those are classics that will people will want to hear 30, 40 years down the line.
Don't forget about Beauty Shop.
All of that. I got an arm full of them. I mean, that's a good thing. But yeah, I appreciate people still listening to those records.
That's amazing. We're just so glad to have you on the show, and I like a lot of I think a lot of advice to give people out there and the artists. But I mean, you've been in the game. You said 23 years. I know I see you going another 23 years if possible, because I know you have a lot of talent when it comes to writing and producing and putting out music. What kind of what artists do you think you're looking at working with next?
Uh, I just try to put good songs on good vehicles, meaning people that will take them as far as they can go. So anybody that's a good vehicle, I write a record for. I went to a wake the other day, and it was actually for Sir Charles's brother. And before I got out of there, it was three different people. Charles asked me to write a song for two different people, and when I went outside, there was another guy who was like, "Hey, I got an artist I want you to write a song for." So in, as long as you're in demand and stay up with what's going on, you can write songs. And I just think those classic songs are songs that tell stories, and that's just me. But if you go back and listen to all those other classic songs, they tell stories, and I think a classic has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, just like a movie.
And it does. It really does. I was at that service as well. I think I was inside, and Jay told me that you came and everything. And I just want to give a shout out to Sir Charles and his family, and give my condolences to them as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to give a shout out to Sir Charles. He wrote "Baby Don't Leave" for me on my first
Oh,
album.
oh, wow. Okay, isn't that something? Okay, that's what it's all about, networking. Because we all can eat out there. And a lot of people, they're out there doing what they're doing. And I was going to ask you a question. What do you think about the direction of Southern Soul, where they're going?
Uh, I don't want to say no comment. It's going
Okay.
where it's going. I say that.
Yeah.
If you want to stay, stay. If you don't want to, you don't want to. It's getting away from where it was when I started.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know what to think about that. All I do is music. I don't care what
Yeah.
category you put it in. So you can call it Southern Soul or blues or
Blues.
soul. I don't care. I just do. I try to do real good music and not just feel good music.
And you do too, as well. And I just categorize myself as soul blues. That happens to do Southern Soul or Trail Ride or whatever. But I'm soul blues. But 'cause we came under the era, like I came from under Denise and Sal in that era. I know you were back there as well. Some of the
Hmm.
legends out there. And it was a different way they did things and how they took care of things and how they did business.
Well, absolutely. And Denise, the last song she recorded was a song that I wrote. A song she did with Karen Wolf, I think it was called Shake a Little Something. But yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
did it different. They did it different back then. They put on clothes. They cared
Yeah.
about how they looked,
Put on clothes.
and now
Yeah.
they look like they're going to Walmart. But that's fine if
Yeah.
that's what they own. I just choose not to do that. But I was taught by a lot of the older guys, you can't look like the person in the front row. You can't smell like the
Exactly.
person in the front row. You can't dress like the person in the front row. Everything has got to be different because if you looking like them and smelling like them and got the same jewelry as them, what sets you apart from them? So you have to be an artist that people look forward to seeing. And if you don't have on something that they've never seen before, if you don't smell differently, or if your jewelry is not different, or if your shoes are not different, they will notice the difference. So I like to be different, and I learned that from a old school guy. Back when we were wearing alligator shoes, I mean,
Oh
you
yeah.
just got to get the real ones. And I've had ladies
Yep.
stand at the front of the stage just rubbing on my shoes because they know they were the real ones and not the Stacey Adams. They knew it was from David Eden or something like that. So it's different, but I mean, when the smoke clear, it'll be all right.
Exactly. It's just I think it's going through a transition. some I think some of the legends like yourself and a few others in the game kind of educate and kind of like take someone under your bosom and kind of embrace them and kind of educate them. I think that it might help them. But some of them get out there, they just kind of get cocky, a big attitude. I think that's my opinion, and I think sometimes you got to sit back and learn and take notes, take constructive criticism because there's nothing wrong with that, and just go and just learn the business.
Yeah, like I said a second ago, when the smoke clears, they'll understand. Some of them listen, some of them don't. Some of them have never heard what I've tried to tell them, and they'll be like, "Man, ain't nobody ever told us this before." And I'm like, "Y'all need to quit just singing and putting out records and trying to be famous and worry about being fortunate." Because
Yeah.
I want to be that old guy in the Lamborghini that somebody, well, what does that guy do when he don't do nothing? And I'm so far removed from what I used to do, but I'm still living off what I used to do. That's what I would much rather be like.
And that's the blessing right there, I mean, you already said what it takes for you to write a song for someone, and like I said, I got 3 great songs by you as well, and like I said, I'm crossing over to my blues side, really kind of sticking to that genre right there. I would love to work with you again on some blues.
You ain't got to have but 3 things. You know what they are.
What?
some talent, some time, and something that's tangible. That's some coins. That's all I need. I'm just joking with you. But yeah, you gotta be able to do something and catch me before I quit.
Exactly.
In my musical career, I didn't stop, but I went to law school and I hadn't started practicing yet, but I should. But I may. I want to be like LL and Ice Cube. They so far removed from what they used to do. Now you see them as actors, but they started out being rappers. Ice T and all those guys. So I want to get possibly step into something else, and I may practice and may do that, and used to be a singer, but I feel right though.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, I know I heard that you were trained with the law school, and you do law, practice law, and you do all kind of other talents. With yourself, security, installments. I mean, you do some everything. You're just a jack of all trades, aren't you?
Well, I'm an authentic hustler. I started out hustling out of necessity, and now I just hustle because I want to, and that's just my drive. So yeah, I'll do whatever it takes to. All the money go in the same pot, so it doesn't matter if you shine shoes or sing a song. Whatever you make, it's going in the same place.
Exactly. What kind of upcoming shows do you have coming? Anything coming up soon?
None. No, I'm joking.
What? I'm like, what?
Zero. But I'm joking. I do have some. I've been going to Texas quite a bit, and I've got a Biloxi.
Okay.
I'll be playing down at Morgan Freeman's Club, Ground Zero, and
Great.
like up in Greenwood, a couple other places. So yeah, I still go. I just try not to go as much as I used to, but I still go.
Now we covered everything about it. I didn't go to the root of everything. How did you get started in music? I know you 23 years, but what got you inspired to start?
Professionally or just singing? Period.
Well, singing period, then transition over to professionally. How did that happen? I didn't ask you that question first.
I don't know how to transition. Well, of course,
Yeah.
the first place you start was in church and in talent shows and stuff. But professionally, my first professional job was playing trumpet with Cameo for a little while back in '95.
Oh wow, okay. See, the fans, we didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I was a horn player. I was actually I don't play any at all. I mean, I still can play, but my scholarship to college was actually for playing horn. I was actually first, second chair when I was playing.
Oh wow. And that would have been a big inspiration. You said you played with Cameo, right?
Yeah, I played with Larry. I was actually in a group that Larry was bringing out called Small Town Boys. We recorded a little bit, and then he asked would I come out and play, and I initially told him no, and then he convinced me to, and I came out and played with him. So that was pretty cool. I was about 21 then, 21, 22 around that time.
Oh wow, that's amazing. See, we didn't know that, fans. Did you know that Earl the Pearl?
No, I didn't know that. I really didn't. I remember Cameo around that time, and I
Hmm.
actually saw you on stage or brought the group on stage, and didn't even know it. That's really
Well,
really
I was
great.
there. I hit with them sometimes in Houston and Dallas, and I mean, and Nathan was still with them. Charlie Singleton was still with them, and they were absolutely wild. And I said, I'm gonna bring my little country tail back home. But they were
They
they
were
were
they were
rock stars.
crazy.
They were absolute rock stars, and I think it was uh, they were a little faster than I wanted to go.
Yeah.
But I guess I flew to Dallas, I think, to meet them, and I took a back then a taxi to the hotel, and Larry was supposed to meet me at the airport, but they came to the hotel, and he sent his assistant in. Very nice hotel, valet parking the whole nine. I guess I was the country's looking thing sitting in there because he walked right up to me and said, "You must be Omar." Out of all those people, I
That's a
promise you
funny
They
he
knew.
did.
story.
I'm like, yeah, but of course I did have my trumpet with me. But I mean, out of everybody in there, he walked up to me and said, "You must be Omar."
Oh
So
my
that
goodness.
night, we were in this nice hotel, and Nathan, Lieutenant, the guy that wears the patch on his eye, he played trumpet and sing. He called me and
Okay.
told me to bring my axe. He said, "Bring your axe down to my room." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I go down to their room, and it's really nice. So I probably hadn't told this story but once, if I have told it. They told me to come down to the room, and the whole horn section was in his room, in that hotel room, playing like they were in the freaking band
Oh,
room,
oh my God.
loud as all
Oh.
get out. And I had my mute and my trumpet. And he was sitting to my right. I'm talking about sax, you got trombone, and you got trumpet. And they ain't a and I hit this, and I said, "Hey, man," I said, "Y'all ain't scared somebody gonna say something to y'all?" And he looked at me, he said, "Man, whoever complained probably spending $80. We spending 8,000. Take that mute out your
Ooh.
horn." And I took that mute out, and that's exactly what he said to me. And I took my mute out. I'm like, okay, he's probably going to jail, but listen, hey, I'm with y'all. Nobody ever knocked on that door and said anything. They
Wow.
never said, "Hey, can you bring it down?" Nothing. They
They probably
never said a
Wow.
enjoyed it.
word to him. Well, like he said, whoever complained was probably spending $80. He said, "We spending
Yeah,
8,000. Take that mute out your horn." And I did,
exactly.
and they played wide open like they was on the field, and
Oh my
nobody ever
God.
said anything to him.
He must have paid the cost to
Yeah,
be the boss
cameo.
that
Ooh.
night. That at that place, right?
Say what now?
He must have paid the cost to be the boss that night at that place.
Well, he did. They did, not me.
Yeah.
I was just a horn player and a scared horn player from Alabama. But like I said, they were light years ahead of me. But
Yeah.
he was telling the truth. Nobody
Mhm.
ever knocked on that door. We played at the Starplex or somewhere in Houston, and in Dallas, the venue we played at. It used to be a bank that Bonnie and Clyde robbed back in the day.
Oh
I remember that,
wow.
and they
Mm.
turned it into a club or whatever. But hell, I was up there like a fan. I'm sorry, but I'm looking at Charlie Singleton playing Alligator Woman. I'm like, bro, I used to listen to you on the records, but you really playing Alligator Woman.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Wow.
It was a nice experience. So
And that is a good
Wow.
way how you came out with something like that. That's amazing. A lot of us didn't know that history that you
it was
had with
crazy.
cameo.
It was crazy. I got pictures with Larry. I'm talking about in the Cup era when he had the red cup, the hair.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, the whole nine, and the drummer that was with Larry at that time went on to play for the rest of his career with Prince. So Prince's drummer
Oh.
was with Larry Blackman before he was with, and I think that's the second drummer that came from Cameo that went to play for Prince.
Hmm.
Because I met him at Larry's birthday party in somewhere in Atlanta. We went to Dr. Udom had a party for him, but he was young then. But when Prince
Hmm.
died, the guy that was his drummer was Larry Blackman's drummer before he went to play for Prince.
Oh, and I know.
Wow. That's a lot of history right there, isn't it, Earl?
I know he had to
And
be
and a
good
lot,
because Larry Blackman was a drummer, so he probably.
yeah, I was just getting ready to say that Larry was a
Yeah.
drummer in the beginning. He sure was. He was.
Yeah.
I've heard him play before.
Oh wow. It's
Hmm.
crazy because 2 years ago I opened up for cameo in Invo, and Larry Blackman was there, and he had the audacity to still have that red cup on. And he
Yeah.
did. I was like, wow. And he came up and they brought him up in a little golf
A
cart to the
wheelchair.
stage and
Yeah,
everything.
he's getting a little older now, but back
Yeah.
then he was absolutely red cup. If you ever see the video slide,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It blinked, but the drummer that played in that video was the drummer from the first band that I ever was in, right here in my
Oh.
hometown. The name was Sam Hall, so he has on a big old hat. It just flashes on him. But that's the song he did with one of the Fat Boys. But I've had a career to be around people like that, and like I said, we recorded, hung out with Larry. I mean, it was pretty cool. I remember being in a recording session with him. It was me and the other two guys, and we were standing there trying to sing this song. I think the name of the song was called "Straight Down the Business" or "Secret Lovers" or something. And he stopped
Mhm.
mid recording because I guess we were looking like our eyes as big as the front of my truck. And he stopped and he said, "Hey, stop!" He said, "Guys, listen, get past me and let's do this record." Because he could tell we were fans. We standing up in there.
Yeah.
So he
knew.
was like, "Hey, we got to do this. I know I got some hits, but we trying to get y'all one. Get past the starstruckness and that's when I stopped looking at artists and entertainers as somebody else. I mean, they put on their pants one leg at a time, just like we do. So that's when
Exactly.
I stopped looking at them like they, because we're not curing cancer, we're just singing songs. Even
Exactly.
myself, when I have people, and I get it, they've never seen me before, but hey, I'm just writing songs. That's all. I ain't curing cancer, and then just making you feel good with a little music. That's it.
Well, the music does a lot of curing when you got some good music. I know
Really
you got a new
does.
song out now. Tell us about that.
Oh, I don't know what song you talk. They play what they want to. I mean, what
Oh, they
song
do.
is
'Cause
it? I have no
I
idea.
seen a few when they pull it up. I said, "Oh, I was really putting them hits out there."
I don't know what they're playing. I mean, that's the problem when you do an album. And Earl making when you do an album that gives people the opportunity to play whatever they want to, so you can't concentrate on anything. So just some old game, put out a single and push that single and make them play that. Because when you give them an album full of good stuff, you'll go to some areas and you'll sing your set that you know is popular, and they'll get mad because you didn't sing this
You didn't
song.
sing
I'm
that
like, I've
song.
never
Yeah.
sung that song. Well, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's all they play up here. I'm like, well, I wish they had
Well,
told me they went renegade, so went rogue and started playing that song. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's the only thing about putting out an album.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that too. A lot of people, as well as myself, I put out one song at a time and kind of ride that out for a minute.
Well, the
Because
bad
you're
thing
right
about
about
that
that.
is that is true if you want to concentrate on getting one. If you're trying to have a work record and concentrate on getting them to listen to that one song. But the only bad part about something like that is if you try to submit anything for a Grammy, the only category that a soul artist or blues artist or southern soul artist can get in is best album category, best contemporary blues album, best traditional blues album. So that would be the only benefit I would see, putting out a
Okay.
whole album, because you can't be considered for anything. That's just some Grammy talk.
Well, I forgot you're on the Grammy board, and congratulations on that as well.
But I'm a voting member. I'm not on the board,
Okay.
but I do vote and I do see the ballot before they come out. And
Oh wow.
it is absolutely strategic. But to be considered for anything like that in the genres of music that we're in, it would have to be a whole album.
So soul blues. Okay, that's what I've been working on. My blues, even though I got soul on there, but I'm putting out a lot more blues out there because it's like they seem like the people seem to forgot the culture where everything started from, and they just like kind of left blues aside. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and that's where I'm like, everybody, I think it's mistaken. They need to go back to their roots on some of the music. I think.
Yeah,
What do
those
you
are the
think about that?
classics. Those are
Yeah,
the classics. I
yeah.
play with a lot of those blues guys, and those are the I play with Glenn and Bobby Rush and all those old Tyrone Davis and all those old cats. I mean, that's when I came out. That's who I was listening to, and that's who I was looking at trying to emulate, not necessarily their style, but emulate their work ethic and how detailed they were as far as their show and stuff was concerned. That was back when they had live horns on stage. They just
Yes,
like the cameo
yes.
stuff. So I came from horns, and now that's taboo. You don't even have horn. I wonder where those
No,
horn players are right now.
I don't either.
Mm.
But like I said, I need somebody to take it back, and I'm working on that, taking it back to the roots, and that's where it needs to go. So that's where I'm trying to go. And any last things you got to say to the audience out there before we get off the air?
Go listen to some Omar and learn the business if you're an artist, or even just want to get into the business, learn it. That would be that's so much more important than actually singing. Learning the business is golden, and you will be happy you did. And that's the best advice I can give them. And I tell people, I get a lot of people call me, and they'll hit me on Facebook. They'll just be, they just pulling at straws and hoping I'll answer them. But I got a whole list that I'll send them, and I say, don't call me back until you do this. And that's, getting your LLC, and that's registering with this company and with that company. And that let me know that your business, get your publishing company started. So if you're not going to do that, you're going to swear I beat you if it don't come out like you want to. But the hard and fast rule, and then I'll shut up. If you don't write nothing, if you don't play nothing, you don't get nothing. That's what it is. Unless there's some other kind of
y'all heard that now. You heard it.
Yeah, right then you don't play nothing, you don't get that.
Yeah, you heard that from the GOAT, y'all.
I love it.
It's the reason why BMI only asks for the author and the composer. They don't, because whoever's singing it, that's just to say, okay, yeah, this is the right song. But the owners of the song is the people who write it and compose it, meaning the author and the composer, the person that did the lyrics, the person that did the track. So don't go in there thinking that you're supposed to get something just because you're singing on it and you didn't write not one word and you didn't play not one instrument. That ain't your money. So
that's the truth. I learned that side. I learned that, and it's the truth.
Hey, Omar, I got a question for you. I agree with you on how performers today dress. But I guess I have to notice, and I'm old school too. I'm probably older than you. I noticed that.
I don't know.
Oh, I think I am. Okay, I go way back.
You probably got here in the 60s.
Yeah.
Did you get here in the 60s? Yeah, I got here in the 60s. So go ahead.
Okay. I get it. I get permission to speak. Okay, so.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in that same,
I'm just joking.
Yeah, I got here.
But what I was gonna say is, how do we explain King George wearing T-shirts and blue jeans and being number one like that? How do we explain that?
The stars lined up. And then you've got the younger crowd. I'm not going to say taking over the genre, but it's not, those people are not the people that came in loving this kind of music in the beginning. Our people are our age. They ain't trying to fight. They ain't trying to sit out there in the hot sun. Our people, and I learned this, our people are at home listening to this while they cleaning, while they cooking, while they doing the backyard parties, and while they chilling or driving. That's where our people are. So when you got this when you usher in a new era, the beat done changed, and the dress has too. And I get it. And if that's what you're on, but there is still a lane, and there's still an avenue for people that love just good blues music or soul music that's telling a story, and like the beauty shops and songs like that. The Baby Don't Leave, they still out there. They hadn't gone, because I get a lot of people at those shows saying, "Hey, I grew up listening to you. My mama used to listen to my grandmama." And I don't take that as an insult, because I mean, some of the artists now that are out, my first album came probably the year they were born or around when they were younger.
Exactly.
So you get 23, 24, 25-year-olds come in, and I get it. But good music never gets old. That's why they still listen to Just Because. It never gets old. That's why they still listen to all that Bobby Bland and stuff. Those are classics. They don't get old.
They are,
They really don't.
Well, your music is a classic too. So we just want to thank you for taking your time off from your work schedule to be on the show, which is really grateful. Aren't you, Earl? We're just happy
you
came on here with us.
Appreciate Omar Cunningham. I don't need to give it up for him.
I appreciate y'all.
A legend in the business. Yeah, Omar, you hot.
Stop playing with him.
That's right.
I appreciate it.
Yes, another great show, y'all. Yes, next week, listeners, we have Lacey coming up, y'all. Y'all stay tuned. And y'all make sure you stay around 6:30, 7:30 your time, and 6:30 Central Time to listen to the interview with Omar Cunningham. How you doing?
Thanks, Omar.
Thank you.
Okay.